Hey guys, you all have a good Sunday? Of course, Andy in the house, all by himself today. Amanda is working away and a good beaver like she always is. But I wanted to pop on a little bit and have a chat to you all because Friday, a couple of days ago, me and Amanda launched actually our next, it turns out our third actually jointly written book together called The Snow Was All We Could See. Now, if anyone's obviously got any of the books we've done before, you would know obviously the first book we did was a jointly wrote book called A Runaway Me in 7 Words, where we did like a 7-line poem each interlinked in together. We followed that one up last year now with We Could See, and that was basically where we wrote a lot of pieces set up actually in the actual beginning of lockdown itself, obviously quite unaware of what was going to happen next, the way things went. And over the past couple of months, really, so in some cases in this little book, some pieces a bit further back than that, we've been writing some more winterish short pieces, and we wanted to try and bring them out, obviously, not to cash in the Christmas market, but obviously try and cover the actual winter feel we're heading into now, which is quite bizarre, really, because you think today, it's been a really warm day today. I went out before, and it was cold, really, really bright. So I'm going to read out a couple of my pieces from this book. Now, in this book, it's a little different for me because a lot of you obviously will know me more as a poetry writer, really, but have been branching out in the past year or so and doing bits of prose as well and flash fiction. So I wanted my section of this book to have a bit of mix and match, really. So I'm going to read, I think it's a few pieces anyway, and there's a couple of poems, one bit of prose and a couple bits of flash fiction. So the first one I'm going to read, this one is called Snow Fight, and I wrote this really remembering a snow fight I had with my sister and my little brother when he was really young. So this is what it's called, Snow Fight. Leaving prints underneath the tunnel, you said afterwards you thought I'd given up after chasing you all down the road like this fall snow, echoing back years into our past, when I used to drag you up to Tandem Hill, sledge in hand, and we both thought we would take off into the air like Father Christmas. Of course, it never happened. More often than not, we would end up in a pile of snow, with our scarves knotted round our mouths, leaving footprints before vanishing from view, moving hands against the season, fingers colliding together without words. Okay, now the second piece I'm going to do today for you, this is a bit of flash fiction now. This one actually does need stating it is a true story, this piece, or it's kind of a true story. But I do want to state as well, obviously, this didn't happen to me. End of the night. We met towards the end of an early Christmas party after my brother booked our taxi and you knocked on the front door, apologising for Melissa had been so late. It's okay, I smiled. Sort of thing I would do. I said my brother Pete looked at me in surprise, almost like he knew her. I wasn't sure about coming along, she continued. I didn't know if you'd still be here and so late. I just need somebody to talk to. I didn't know what she was doing. Pete. Ray, the taxi is due in 5 minutes. He called out from the living room. I shook my head. Give me 5 more minutes. Of course, 5 turned to 10, and I ended up staying until 4 a.m., then walked back to her house half a mile away. You didn't have to do this, she said, as we arrived at her front door. That's true. I could have almost, as I laughed. Good, because I certainly do. She kissed me. Her husband arrived back from his shift 4 hours early at 11 a.m. I bet the bus driver still has nightmares about me getting on the bus with my pants over my arms. Like I said, that's not me. Okay, next one is another poem, actually. And this one's a couple of years ago, this actually, where, just before Christmas, some years back, I ended up going over to a certain coastal town to see some friends, which I'm not going to name. And we ended up stumbling onto Pretty Little Scene, actually. So this is Remains of a Christmas Day Beach Party. Frostbitten, there was the remains of a Coke bottle laid next to a pair of gloves, buried underneath stabbed plastic cups. soaked mince pies with half tooth in one, and a well past it date cheese sandwich with a Dear Santa in childlike handwriting on the back. Ice cream carpets depleted in the sand, across see-through coffins blacked out by rows of pedals, broken umbrellas and finger-printed magazines kissing like forgotten lovers, next to the steps flowering footprints together, breathing memories over the distant tide. Okay, now for something else, as Monty Python say, completely different. Now this next one actually is recently as well on 3 Minute Scares, Hannah's Bookshelves radio program annual scary competition. This got third prize, and some wonderful comments by the horror writer Ramsey Campbell about this as well. This one came off a workshop I did with Amanda and a few others a little while back, and this is called Winter and Only Winter. This is prose. Winter was the only season they could be together. Not spring with the awakening animals or summer out endless green fields. As a fire was lit up the sky like an exploding aeroplane. Winter, when the snow came down, they could kiss in the cold. Winter, when the skies get dark and quicker, and she would not be afraid of the sunlight constantly, and he could wander over there, not afraid to bring a wanted light into a cave. Winter was the only season they could be together from November to February and walk in the fields at 3 p.m. every day, knowing the world could not stop them being together. Not summer, with the sunbathers who run onto the beach each and every dawn until dusk and laugh at others who stood there, afraid to step in the shadows to join them. Winter, and only winter, when the mood quickened, when she could feed without fear, and he could hold her in her arms afterwards to calm her down in the icy rain until her guilt faded away. Winter was the only season they could be together, right up until after he left, after watching her fall asleep. Shadows in between life and death. Okay, moving on now. On to another. This one, I wrote this one the other year. The curious incident of the dog at night time, and this is my version of it. Really, I did a poem called "The Curious Incident of the Strange Christmas Presents in the Hotel Car Park." Who left that blow-up Santa Claus at the edge of the car park, with his backside dangling up in the ice-cold air, and the reindeer on top of it, so it looked like it was, well, neither of us knew. All the beer bottles in 2 sacks, which clearly had been a present for somebody or the other, and the half-empty tin of Quality Street laid out across the ground like a landing strip. Who left the Christmas willy warmer next to the Donald Trump toilet paper on top of the car park meter, and the broken sled in between the 2 cars, giving the impression it had crash landed from somewhere. The Poundland box of biscuits untroubled in the snow, on top of that world map in German, sprayed out across the ground, clinging on to life in the cold, like a detective novel, with its pages clung shut. Right. Yeah, last page, so I'm getting mixed up here. Right, this one's a true story actually as well, but again, it does he's saying this didn't happen to me. Secret Santa. She was divorced in August. Everybody in the office knew. By the time Secret Santa came round, everybody just ready to get in her name, after all the bad mouthing she said about her ex in the restroom every break and lunchtime. I hope we don't get her around, he said. I wouldn't know what to buy her. I'm not doing it if I draw her name, Amanda threatened. You can't win either way if you draw her name. Be kind to her, Reggie chipped in. The poor woman's just got out of a 20-year marriage. I sat next to her in the pub and that works do the other month, Mike said. It's a frigging nightmare. I've never seen anybody so frustrated. Antonia drew her name out of the hat, and Sarah told everybody in the restroom with relief. She bought her a vibrator and changed her handwriting. They had to call the police at the end of the day the following week, after everybody had passed their presents round, when they thought somebody had left a bomb in the bin outside. Right, well, that's it now. Obviously, the book is The Snow Woodall We Could See by me, Andy N, and of course, Amanda Steele. Now, the book is, Amanda was telling me before, you can get it on Amazon as our paperback and the Kindle. I believe it's available on the usual place to get Kindles on as well, so check it out. And no doubt, we'll see you all down the road, guys. As I always say on Spoken Label podcasts, stay safe and stay over. And I'll see you all soon.